Hey there, YouTube. I'm back. It's been a little bit since I've recorded something and posted it on the day. I've been traveling, been busy. Coming to you from Texas. I'm going to come back around and talk about the Apexgenxy trigger install on the Sig 320. As I brought up a few days ago on the channel, we put in, well, I didn't put it in. Sig Nerd Kyle put it in. You've seen him on the channel the last couple of days, but Sig Nerd Kyle put in the Apex trigger kit, the agency arm shoe, and also the Sig Armory disconnector. He shot it for a day. I shot it for a day. I'm sure it's more than 1,000 rounds on the setup. So we've gotten a little bit of a look at it to get some idea about the functionality. As the trigger's broken in a little bit, it seems fine. Like, as we can see here, the trigger safety, the safety dingus is functional. So if I push on the side of the trigger, it's not going to move. So you put pressure on the trigger, there's a little take up, there's a wall, a little bit of press through there, and then the trigger breaks. It doesn't have that sponginess quality so much anymore. It does appear to be an improvement. And in my opinion, I mean, I feel safer, if nothing else. I at least feel safer with this setup. So it appears to be, again, all systems go at this point. The experience with the 320 so far it's been interesting. The next thing that's going to happen, and probably the last thing that's going to happen with this gun, is I get the drop-in KKM barrel. And at that point, I'll probably shoot it a lot more and reevaluate it. But for now, it's like, okay, I actually learned a good bit shooting the gun, and I enjoy shooting the gun. So I've got no regrets. But now, let's go back. Let's take your comments on this stuff. All right. First one, I despise working on SIGs, especially after starting with a CZ and now carrying a Glock. Yeah, the SIG's definitely more complicated. Sig Nerd Kyle, when he's very good. He's very good. Let me just tell you, he's got every part that goes in the gun. He's got it, got copies for it, and it's all in containers and bags that he knew he was going to mess with my gun, so he had all that stuff with him. He could take the gun down, strip down the FCU in 3 minutes. So he's pretty quick with it. And he actually did it in the dark. So I was very impressed with that. He didn't get out the light till he found that staked pin that was in there. Looked over the gun. It was a little bit dirty. So he was nice enough to clean it for me. And once he finished having a conniption about that staked in pin and put the gun back together, everything was fine. Yeah, it was very, very nice. But yes, I do agree. The SIG is complicated. I was kind of looking at the pile of parts from the FCU. I was ooh, it was the springs and stuff. It was just that looks a little bit goofy. Ben, you didn't have to spell it out that it wasn't you who detail stripped and cleaned it. We know anything other than spraying rem oil never makes to your to-do list. Not that you can't, but you simply won't. Well, I mean, I'd have, I do sometimes. I do sometimes do that stuff. Just, I don't really like it. I know you all don't get along with Bruce, but the Gray Guns comp trigger kit is fantastic. I'm just going to tell you, I don't give a fuck about Bruce Gray when it comes to buying parts. I don't care. I find that kind of weird. His personality is irrelevant. Because if you want the parts, buy the parts. I do not really care about him. Make fun of him separately, but no, I mean, it is what it is. All right. Gray Guns competition trigger with Armory Craft reset spring and Sig Armor Sport disconnector turned the trigger on this gun into quite the shooter. All right, so I got the Sport disconnector. I didn't get the reset spring. All right, breaks crisp at 2.6 pounds. Even my girlfriend shot her best group ever. It was first time shooting the upgraded P320 trigger. Shows how much a good trigger helps a novice shooter. Yeah, I don't know that it needs to be 2.6 pounds. I'm not sure that I would want that, but yes, you could do that. Finally, can't wait to hear your opinion on this product. Seems like nobody has a valid opinion on this trigger. I don't know about nobody having a valid opinion on it, but I mean, the setup that I have seems fine. All right, $1,400 for a gun, $600 in parts or labor just to get it to be okay. I think I'd keep looking, but to each their own. Yeah, so if you want to buy a gun and not mess around with it at all, I don't think I would recommend this one, even though in stock form, I shot it. Like it's shootable. It's just I didn't really like some of the stuff about it. Like I would definitely put it in the KKM barrel, for example. Yeah, I mean, if it's a money thing, this is probably not the gun for you, for sure. All right, I understand there are people with deep pockets, but I'd rather go to a store, walk out with a Shadow 2 SPO1 Tactical, be practicing than waiting around for parts. I keep asking, what does SIG offer with their current line of handguns? Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, one of the problems with SIG, like as a company, is their line is so complicated. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're offering. I mean, not really. It's very complicated. Like, they have a lot of different models, a lot of different. There's so many SKUs. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like that, but it's like it doesn't need that. Like, they don't need all this crap that they have. I mean, just look at how many different optics they offer. It's wild. Okay. All right, I had to hammer the pin out as well. It took some strong wax with the hammer. I believe SIG mushrooms it on one side so it doesn't come off too easily. I reused the pin and it's functioned fine ever since. Yeah, so he's talking about the trigger stop pin that's, I believe, was staked into the FCU on mine. Kyle didn't like that. He says his weren't like that. So he took that pin out and put in a spare pin that he had that was not staked, and did not stake it. So, he didn't like it. I was ambivalent. Ben did not care. Let's see if there's anything else. I think some guys got really. Wasn't somebody worked up about the pen? I don't really care. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else more to say about this. I mean, the 320 at this point, it's been an interesting review, I think, for a lot of people. And we'll, keep it going. Try the KKM barrel in the future, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, if you have any other questions or comments about this that I'm missing, anything relevant, let me know.